she thinks she's in second place. But Mary Acorn is really showing signs of corruption in her form as well with that right arm, pinwheel that she's got going. That's one of the first signs you see where that stride is starting to shorten and you're trying to use your arms like mad to try to get yourself back on a rhythm. But head's rolling all over the place. It's usually the very nuanced things that show you that someone's falling apart. But even though that Heather's head is tilting a little bit to the left, that's another sign you see. But she looks more in control than Mary does right now.
So we're on the men's side of things. We are within the last mile with Joey Whelan. He hit it he hit 1 mile to go at 2:09:08. So if he can close really, really fast, possible still a sub 2:15 performance. Does have that big hill, which he's kind of starting to negotiate a bit at this juncture. But still, it's going to be a PR for Joey Whelan, regardless of if he breaks 2:15 or not. And there you see.
So we can talk about the last mile and a half here that he's got to go. He's actually about to go underneath I-35 bridge, then take a right, go down 6th Street. He does have a big enough lead to stop for a beer, but he's not going to do that unless he really wants to.
And I should correct myself. It was the 40K split that he hit at 2:09:08. So no sub 2:15. My apologies there, but he is about in the next minute or so to hit a mile to go. So my mistake there.
Yeah, and so he'll hit a mile to go. He'll go down 6th Street. Again, has time for a beer, won't stop for one unless someone gives him a celebratory one.
If he's anywhere near that 2:16:30 from Duluth is a very fast course on a good weather day, and him running that time here in Austin is a sign that he's got a lot more time in the tank when he goes to another fast course.
Yeah, and the reports we've been getting and from people that have been running with him and training with him were that he's a totally different runner than he was this time last year, and that he's really a 2:12, 2:13 type guy on the right day, right course. And what we've heard from when I've been talking to William Dyson about Joey coming back and Jack, Joey was personally very honored and excited that Austin was the first place that led him into an elite field. So he really tried to honor that by coming back and defending that and also trying to put on a good performance. So just really, really good, a good guy, understands the sport, respects the sport, respects what they're trying to do here at the Austin Marathon, and to come back and show up in shape.
Symbiotic relationship between the event and the athlete.
Yeah, absolutely.
And both using one another to the best advantage for each.
Yeah, and he's got a great relationship with Nike and Stoughton Racing, so it's just an absolutely great story that we are getting a witness of stellar time from one of the up-and-coming stars of the marathon in the United States.
And he knows full well, because he's been looking at his watch the entire race. He knows full well where he is, what it means, how close he is to his PR. It'll be interesting. It'll be fun to hear his comments after the race with Drew.
Yeah, and he's going to have to push it a little bit to get his PR. About a mile to go. He's slowed significantly the last couple miles, no doubt hitting the wall.
You saw that rhythm. Yeah, not the wall, but it's certainly a veil.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of tissue between him and the open air. And he's pressing hard. His arms still look good. He's not falling apart. He's just, that inevitable. It's just the marathon's just too darn far.
Yeah. The body's saying, okay, let's wrap this up as soon as we can.
And the crowds are going to just really help him in this final push.
And as he kind of wraps around 6th Street here, he's got about, I'd say about 400 meters until he gets to that really big, the steeper hill. Yeah. And then once he gets to the top of that thing, it is flat, fast, downhill, all the way around the Capitol.
But when you're hurting, you don't want too much of a downhill. Yeah. Because you pound yourself into oblivion.
Yep, absolutely. And again, the Oscar Blues VIP tent with Tito's Vodka awaits him in about 10 minutes or so, and I think he's going to be the first person in there when he finishes.
It's amazing how the post-race refueling, rehydrating has changed over the years. For decades and decades, of course, they served beef stew at the finish line of the Boston Marathon. That was the very famous. You got a little bowl of beef stew in the garage at the Prudential Center in Boston after you finish the Boston Marathon, and boy, have times changed.
Wow, absolutely. And we see Anita Perez in second place in the women's half, and Jamison Mora still in second place in the men's half. But really, in the full. That was my mistake, in the full. But we really see Joey Whelan, Heather Lyberg. They are in a class of their own right now, just dominating the men's field and the women's field.
Yeah, Joey really came into this race as a new man. I mean, you would never guess that somebody who ran 2:31:37 last year is now, easily under 2:20.
And there's Cheer Up Charlies in the background. They are one of the we talked early in the race about how these after parties have really started to pop up. So they're actually hosting an after party from 10 to 2 o'clock today, I believe, with Lululemon. And so that's Joey's right in the corner here, and he's about to look up, and he knows exactly what hill he's about to have to conquer right here on Red River in 11th.
And it's hitting him, too. I mean, he's still moving, there's no doubt, but
he wants it over.
Yeah, no kidding.
And here he comes to the top of this hill. It's about 170 meters or so. It should take him about 30, 35 seconds to get to the top of this thing.
The teacher retirement center, absolutely.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect little metaphor.
Retirement
there.
says it all. Yeah, here he is. But almost like psychologically, I mean, this is not new for him. He did it last year. I'm sure he saved something for this hill where he knows he's going to have to really, dig down and grind his way up there.
And there he is. He just looks so strong as he's finishing. And actually, we see kind of a development in the women's race, which is Heather Lyberg has just thrown the hammer down and trying to break Mary Acor, which, considering Mary's not actually in the race, is actually a great development because we would actually really love to see Heather cross the line first and really earn this for herself.
But Mary was starting to show those signs where she was, really starting to physically fall apart. And she still is, whereas Heather still has that very, look at that. Even the way she takes water and dumps it on herself is very efficient.
So about 400 meters left to go for our man who's going to win for the second straight year, Joey Whelan. Doesn't look like he is. He's just going to miss out on his PR. But, I mean, if you handicap each course, this is the best effort of his career, no doubt about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And this type of performance is the type of performance that is going to help him get into the elite fields of other major marathons, coupled with a pretty good PR that he already has, just the absolute respect that he has for Austin and how he treats race directors and media. This is the type of guy that you really want representing the sport.
And at the same time, it's one thing to run these times, another thing to win the race. No. And people always like to invite winners. No. Because that's a great, that's a great marquee value. The two-time winner of the Austin Marathon. That says something.
And so we asked him before the race, we said, Joey, what workout did you know that you were ready to do this? And he said, did a 16-mile tempo under 5:06 pace. And so that's what you basically just saw on display here today, the fruits of those types of workouts that he's.
And if he had competition or somebody to run with for a much longer period of time, the odds are he could have run faster than he did today as well. But it's very, very difficult psychologically to be the only person out there by yourself. Here's that finish line banner. For the second year in a row, Joey Whelan's going to break it.
And man, he looks awesome. What a performance we just saw from Joey Whelan on the streets of Austin, Texas. A back-to-back champion. There he goes in 2:17 flat or so. And just barely off his PR, but an absolutely stellar performance of Leo Manzano down there. And when we get a minute, we will have Drew, our finish line personality. We will have him do a nice interview with Joey, and we'll talk about the how great of a course it was, and hopefully Joey will give us some insight on what 2:17 really felt like out there, because he was solo after mile 12.
Yeah, their thumbs up, a nice hug, and congratulations from our Olympic silver medalist, Leo Manzano, whose Manzano Mile kicked off competition here on Austin Marathon weekend.
And there's Jack Murray giving him a big high five, and